everybody to We Geek Podcast. Today is Wednesday, September 21st. It's our 75th episode. And how's your week been, man?
Been a week.
Oh yeah, man. Tell me about it. This week is killing me. They got us. Oh man, my other job's just been killing me with the amount of. I shouldn't complain. A lot of people love to get overtime and they want to get as much as they can, but it's literally killing me. Like, I hate I get in and they're like, okay, well, there's mandatory, you need to work these many hours of overtime this week, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. You know what? I got a few days off, so I'll tackle it all in one day. They're like, oh no, you got to split it up between days. So I literally now I went to having 3 days off to 1 day off, working like 12-hour shifts, 12 and 10-hour shifts each day. So it's just been hell. So for the next few weeks, I might sound a little drained. Games and movies and stuff might come out. Probably won't see them or play them. I actually do want to play a little bit of Destiny that came out. But I probably won't tackle it until this weekend. Have you played any of it?
I have, yeah.
Oh, okay. So we'll talk about that later. One thing I have been playing that, of course, I got sucked right back into, pretty hardcore, was Warcraft with their Legion expansion. And it's one of the best experiences I've ever had with an expansion. So
nice.
Oh yeah, a lot of people who play WoW, they put it, they have Wrath of the Lich King as the top expansion. Nothing ever's really come close to it. I think this one has a good case for that because the way they've made things simpler, but at the same time, it's not like, oh, it's just easy button mode. It's just the way it flows is beautiful. The way the story starts just right off the bat with action and major characters dying, major characters changing, and like it's just I sat back this week playing and I was thinking about all the hours I've put into this game, all the different zones, all the different quests, and it literally broke my brain. Like I don't think there is anything in video game history that has ever come close. Like size-wise, if you like, for example, if you were to play every character in that game, every class, not only just every class. Let's say you pick a mage. There's 3 different kinds of mages. There's a fire mage, there's an ice mage, there's an arcane mage. Each one of those have their own story quest in this expansion, like hours, like 10 or 20 hours worth of story for each one of those, and then multiply that by how many different classes there are. Each class has their special items, quests that are like 20 hours. It's insane. Like, Destiny doesn't come close. Like, none of these other MMOs that are kind of around today scratch the surface, and it was just crazy to think about, man. I know I just rambled on there for a little bit, but if any of you listeners listen or have played Warcraft since 2004, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like nothing compares to it. It's really hard to explain to someone who's never played it or been into it, like how massive the world feels. Still to this day, like when I get in there, you go up to certain sites and you're just like, holy crap, this world's huge. Like they're getting into Norse gods and stuff now. It doesn't even make sense, but there you are in Valhalla. Like, it's just insane. And I'll stop gushing about it in a little. I'll actually talk more about it later, but you get up to these pillars and they're massive in the game, like massive. And I haven't done that whole quest line. That's the whole warrior quest line. I don't have a warrior. You only kind of skate past it and do certain quests around it if you're not a warrior. I'm a mage, so I'm doing all this fire mage stuff, and like, I don't know, man. It's a shame that, and I would not put it past them, but one day if they figured out a way to put Warcraft on consoles, or like Star Wars, the Old Republic on consoles, oh my god, I can imagine people would eat it up.
Well, sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, if they made it so that you can use your controller, I don't know how it would do processing wise. I guess it could technically because, PlayStation 4s and Xboxes, they're about as good as PCs were, what, like 3 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, about that, probably, yeah.
Yeah, so they could totally pull that off. If Blizzard figured out a way to put it on consoles and, had like console servers, like specific servers just for consoles, to make the playing field even, holy shit, dude. They'd have to figure out the monthly fee because I doubt anyone would want to pay a monthly fee. But maybe do like up to level 100 is free, and then if you want to play 100 to 110, it's like, I don't know, or maybe it's included in the PlayStation. I don't know how they would do that, but man, yeah, I talked to my friends who just play console, and I'm like, I can't explain how much fun I'm having right now because it goes through one ear and out the other. They're just like, okay. But yeah, I'll stop rambling about Warcraft. But man, that's what I've been doing this last week, except killing myself at work. I saw a few things though. I saw Gotham episode 1 of the new season 3, and Marvel's Agents of Shield. And I realized I did not see like the last part of the season. Like, I didn't see the last half.
Oh, of season 3?
Yeah, of Agents of Shield. I remember who is...
Yeah, because like I'm in kind of the same boat.
Yeah, I remember who was the guy that turned on them?
Oh, Grant, yeah.
Grant, yeah, I remember him coming back as that other thing. And that was it. That's all I remember. And now I don't even think Grant's in the picture, so he might be, but I don't know. It seemed to focus mostly on Ghost Rider. Yep. But yeah, man. So yeah, that's been my week so far. We don't have that much movie and TV news and whatnot. But I'm sure by the end of it we'll talk about video games we're gonna be getting. I know I want to get Mafia 3. We'll talk about movies coming out in the future this year, the ones remaining, like, oh man, Star Wars, of course. But yeah, man, let's get into it. What kind of movie news we got? I see that this one is, it's odd. I didn't know what to think of it. Basically, Margaret Robbie wants to star and produce in a spin-off film. Now, I mean, that makes sense. Didn't we hear rumblings of a Harley Quinn and, like, Friends movie, but mostly around female-centric characters?
Yeah, they talked about that a little while back, but they made official this week that she will star and her company will help produce the film. But we don't have any like plot details or anything like that. We just know that a Harley Quinn spinoff is in fact happening.
Right. Yeah. So that makes sense. She was probably one of my favorite in the whole bunch of the Suicide Squad people. She was the most interesting, I think. There wasn't that much character to a lot of the other ones. I still understand why that guy has the unicorn or whatnot. But did they ever explain that in the film?
I don't know. I never saw it.
Oh, you never saw it? Okay.
I still haven't gotten around to seeing it yet.
No, you're not missing much. That's definitely a red box for sure. Yeah. Spend $1. It's definitely worth $1. You're gonna see the Joker and go, God, it's worse than what I thought it was gonna be.
Ouch.
Yeah. No, actually, I guess when I saw it, I wasn't as upset as I thought it was going to be, but it's as bad as you think. So yeah. But okay. We got some Wolverine 3 news. Bryan Cranston expresses interest in playing Mr. Sinister.
Come on, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't even know who, like, if you were to say name someone in Hollywood to play Mr. Sinister, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Oh, that sucks because I was just about to do that.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I wouldn't know,
Andy Samberg. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess my go-to when it comes to like that, I don't know, maybe John Hamm.
Yeah, I could see that.
He's He just looks like the everyman or whatever, like from Mad Men. He's big, he's tall, he's got a square jaw. I don't know. Yeah. So, when does Wolverine 3 come out?
Was it next year? At some point next year, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We got some Jumanji news. The first cast produced production photos were released. Did you see them?
I did. Yeah, they were like 3 interesting looking characters, and then Karen Gillan in a short shirt and shorts.
Yeah, she looks great.
Like, no, she doesn't. It looks like the costume department was like, and whatever's left for her. Like, everybody else has a little character to their wardrobe, and they were just like, oh yeah, like we have some stuff left over from one of the Tomb Raider movies. We'll just put that on her. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like the idea
to be fair, that they all look, especially The Rock, looks like he's just taken from Jurassic Park.
Right, but at least he's got a little swagger to it, you know? He puts some of himself in that. Kevin Hart has the giant hat. Jack Black looks like the dude from Disney's animated Tarzan.
Right.
I mean, he's just practically missing the monocle. Like, that's it. And then, you know, like, there's nothing, and then they were just like, oh, and here's the girl. That was what bugs me about that the most.
Oh, okay. No, that definitely doesn't bug me at all. I think she looks fine.
I just, there's no anything to it. There's no character to it at all. That, like, especially because the other 3 actually have some character to theirs. It really just kind of jumped out at me.
Yeah, I don't know. She always kind of jumps out to me though, so maybe that's why. I don't know. I don't know, that redhead. Jeez, I like that she has hair back now. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think she looks good. She's got like that weird vest thing going on. Did you see it?
I mean, yeah, but like, it's just
I don't know what it is. It's like a weird vest thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I was kind of disappointed by the picture. I think they all look goofy. But I mean, I guess that's what this is. This is, I keep kind of remembering, this is kids movie. Wacky things are going to happen. They're in the jungle. And I guess that's a little different from the first one. The first one was, you know, in a neighborhood. It was running through a town, where this looks like it's in the jungle. So who knows?
Yeah, you gotta wonder if maybe this time they're in the board game.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, or like they run across Jack or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it just gets really out of control. Like, is this what would have happened if they hadn't won the game when they did? You know.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah. But yeah, it looks cool. Rock's awesome. Let's see here.
Did you see what is it that they're pushing back because of his schedule? G.I. Joe.
Oh yeah, they are pushing back G.I. Joe. That's right.
Because he doesn't have enough time to film it.
Yeah.
That's fine. They could push that back. So far, it goes completely off the table because we don't need another one of those.
Right. Yeah. Let's see here. There's not much more movie news. I saw that they showed there was like some behind the scene photos of Spider-Man and Mary Jane. Looks cool. They're like hanging from a helicopter or something. Looks like she's taking a selfie with him, of course, because it's millennial Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, there wasn't much movie news. So we'll jump into TV. You go ahead and take the first one here.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this or not, but the Turner Network subsidiary of Time Warner, like that whole like TBS and whatever part of the company, they bought the broadcast TV rights to the Star Wars films.
Oh wow!
Up to and including, I think, Episode 8.
I thought HBO had them.
They have the premium cable rights.
Oh wow!
This is the network TV rights, and they start airing. Force Awakens starts in 2018. So year after next. Yeah, because they go on premium first, and then they come on
That
network
long,
TV.
though?
Yeah, that long.
That seems like forever.
Welcome to the world. First you get it on HBO, then you get it on Netflix, then you get it on over-the-air TV.
It always seemed like FX got them real fast.
Well, but it would take at least 2 years.
Yeah,
And
I guess.
We're talking 2.5 for these. And the deal cost these guys $250 million.
Here's the thing. Why does this take so long?
Exclusivity.
These are digital movies, though. Why does it take so long from it to? Yeah, but
it's all about the legalese. It's not a format thing at all. They come out on home release first, so everybody can buy them, and then they go on Netflix so that everybody can watch them, and then want the special features, and then they go buy them.
I don't even think it should take that long to go from movie theater to home release.
It
should be 3 months.
Oh man, is that way too fast? Because you are way underestimating the amount of post production that those Blu-rays take.
Really?
Adding in all those features, yeah, man, no. Plus, you have to give people some time to cool down from it. You don't just go out and say, oh, I saw that in the theater, that's great, and then go home and buy the Blu-ray. No, you go out and see it in the theater, you come back, then you go out and see it again, and then you come back, and you go out and see it again. It's all about the business. But see,
the second I see a movie, I'm like, I want to own that. I would buy it that week, but you give me time, you give me months away from it, I might not want to.
But
think about it. Think if you went to go see Star Wars,
right?
And you get home, and for that week, you can spend $20 online and buy it, and they say you will be getting this, and exactly digitally, you'll be getting this 3 months from now. We're gonna give you the movie, and then a month or two from that, 3, whatever, we're gonna drop the extra features for you.
No, I hate staggered release like that. It's crap.
I would love it. I'd love to get the digital release just a few months later. Absolutely. Think that's just another market for them to go. Oh, I don't know. I just think that the times are changing, and they have to think, how are we going to get? They're getting people in the theaters, but it's only for the big blockbusters. So I don't know. I think the future is releasing them to the public where you can watch it on your television.
Right, but here's the thing: the turnaround time for smaller budget films has always been shorter. Yeah, that's always been shorter. Like something like Star Wars, it's all about the hype. It's all about marketing. You go back to see it in theaters until the run's over, and then a few months after that, you get the Blu-ray. Like and it kills. It makes tons of money, so they're not going to change it anytime soon.
Yeah, that's true.
For the smaller budget stuff, turnaround time has always been fast.
Yeah,
and it's what they can afford to do. And that's the staggering with releases on different platforms. It's still the same. It's still trying to say what's most important. DVD Blu-ray is always going to be first every time. Let me say this, digital DVD Blu-ray.
Digital will always be first. That's what it is right now.
Well, but that was what I meant. Like not Netflix and whatnot, but digital the week before, and then DVD Blu-ray. And then Netflix, because, hey, they'll probably pony up the most money because they want to be top dog.
Right, and all I'm saying is that make the digital not just a week before the DVD Blu-ray. Make it a few months before it.
No, you need more time to polish. You need more time to
format. Do people really buy Blu-rays anymore?
I do. I buy Blu-rays all the time. Tons of people buy Blu-rays.
I don't know a single friend of mine that buys Blu-rays anymore.
It's the same. It's the same thing with physical video games.
No, I don't know. I don't know anyone that. Maybe you, but I'm saying like
I do. And plenty of people do.
And I'm saying in my group, I'm trying to think.
Go to a GameStop at a midnight release and see how many people there are. Plenty of people still buy physical media. It's not going anywhere.
But I don't like that. I don't know.
That's too bad because I do.
Yeah, no, no. I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just trying to think like because that's something I used to do, and that's something that I'm trying to think of the people that I play all the time with on PlayStation and PC. PC gaming is all digital now. I mean, you
Right.
can go to GameStop and I think get Warcraft, but it's a code. So there's no disc in the box.
Well, and the and and,
PC.
and Steam helped with that too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's about the platforms and the idea being
PSN and Xbox have completely mirrored Steam, though. That's what
agreed.
they've done.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because and so I'm just saying I see it going that direction. I see just like consoles are trying to catch up to PC. PC's almost all digital now. The consoles are going that route, I think, and I think movies really are too. I used to have so many Blu-rays. I used to have so many DVDs. I had a cabinet full of them. And I'll tell you a personal story. I thought I never thought this, and it kind of made me think. I had someone over and they thought, "Why do you have all that there? That's kind of weird." I thought, you know what? You're right. I have this whole wall of stuff here, with all of my Blu-rays, all of my DVDs, and whatever, and it was a little jarring. And I talked to my brother and he was like, "Yeah, why would you want that out there?" Whatever. So I was like, you know what? No, like you're absolutely right. I should not sit there and have this whole thing out there. And it really made me like, okay, yeah, you're right. What am I doing? And then I kept collecting. I kept collecting. I kept collecting. I took it out of the living room, put it in my room, and then it went into my closet. And then I had all of this stuff in my closet, and I ran out of space completely with this stuff. I was super annoyed. I still have some of it. Sold most of it. Sold most of my Blu-rays. Sold most of my DVDs. I have everything pretty much digital now, so I don't have the clutter. I don't have the thing in the living room full of my Blu-rays like it was some trophy shelf or something. I don't have it I have a little box in my closet, but that's it. But it got to the point where I was just collecting it to like it almost looked like I was showing it off. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it seemed weird. And I didn't catch it until someone pointed it out, and I was like, oh, you're right. That is kind of, I don't know. I guess I just didn't want that anymore. And same way with video games. I didn't. I just ran out of space, and I got kind of tired of it. Now that I could just turn on my PlayStation, and my entire library is at my fingertips. I don't have to put discs in and out. Where did we get started with this? Oh yeah, with it going all digital.
Yeah.
I just think the turnaround time just should be so much shorter.
Nah, leave that much how it is. I like the shelves. I like having bookcases. I like seeing, I like looking up and seeing the movies there. I like having something to hold on to. I know we are on the path to all digital, and within the next 5 years, I imagine we'll probably get there.
Yeah.
But there is, as long as GameStop is still a thing, we're not going to go solely digital.
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
games.
no, and that's what someone told me. They're like, this place looks like Blockbuster. Your living room looks like Blockbuster. And I kind of was offended, but I was like, you know what, you're right. I probably should make this look a little bit more like a living room. I don't know. It was weird. It was like something hit me that I didn't hear before or didn't see myself, and so and then it just grew. Like, I don't know, I have like a hoarding issue, I think, where if I start collecting things, it just adds up, and it became a mess. I don't know, I'm in my own weird space with that stuff, but I noticed like my friends and stuff too. Like, I ask people for, I ask them where they got this, and they all just buy digitally. Amazon. Got it off Amazon. Download it on Amazon. Watch it on my PlayStation. Watch it on my Xbox. Or they steal it, because that happens. And it's, I don't know. Didn't we talk about before? Like, isn't J.J. Abrams or him and Spielberg trying to come up with something? They're trying to come up with like a box that like you can buy. Remember we were saying how ridiculous price it was?
Well, because what it was like, wasn't it the Napster dude who was like, I've got this idea, and like a bunch of filmmakers were getting behind it?
Yes, yeah, and it was this device where it was like some ridiculous amount of money to put down, and then you pay $50 a month or $50 a movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, who would do that when you have, I mean, you have people stealing. You have people with unlocked Amazon Fire Sticks. That just seems absurd for someone to spend that amount of money on. That's why I think the only real way to counter that is to adapt to it and figure out other ways to make someone want to buy it.
But the problem with that is you wind up rushing production on these things, and suddenly you've got a less than substantial product.
Well, I think that the product shouldn't be less than substantial. I think that what it should be is maybe cheaper, and like as in paying wise, the price should go down. And the ease of use, the ease of getting it, and that's where I'm talking about getting it early, about that's what I think so great about iTunes and whatnot is, or like Pandora, or these places where they offer subscription based things like Apple Music or Pandora or whatever. You pay $10 a month. Same with Netflix. You pay $10 a month, and you have this access to all of these things. So it's still a service you're paying for. They figured out a way to get it to you cheaper and faster. And so that's all I'm saying. We have Netflix, we have this stuff, but if they would put it into the theater type system, I could totally see that happening.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's hit every other form.
There's just so much that goes into doing something like that, and I think people would react negatively to the idea of pay for the whole thing now, and at X point you get the movie, and then a month later you get all the extra features that you've already paid for. It's no extra charge. It just takes longer to get there. I think people are way too finicky to be okay with that.
Or maybe you do get all the digital stuff at first, because let's be honest, it's that extra 3 or 4 weeks that has to do with putting it on a physical format and getting it to you. All that digital stuff is done much, much earlier than that. I mean, same thing with video games. But you're absolutely right. We saw what happened with Xbox. They tried to do something like that, and it was too soon.
Yeah.
The people weren't ready for it. Even though, 2016, look at me. I was the biggest person going, nope, of course I'm all PlayStation, but nope, Xbox is going to screw people over. And look at me, I'm all digital. Yeah. I'm the guy that I would have been mad at me back then, if that makes sense. But yeah. All right. Well, hey, we gotta take a quick break. When we get back, we will get into some more TV news. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you guys in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and before we get into the TV news again, there was some bit of information that just hit. Boop, 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 boop. This just in, Jared Leto apparently to play Andy Warhol in biopic.
Sure, I could see that.
Yeah, and it says, Crispin Glover. Oh, no, never mind. Sorry, I was reading something else. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about Andy Warhol, except for, I guess what everyone knows. So that'd be interesting. Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice.
Yep. Definitely looks the part.
Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah. Did you see... Now, I'm not sure if it's here on the list here, but did you see the Kevin Smith Mallrats thing?
The plot summary?
No, I didn't see the plot summary. Did you?
There was something about, it's a whole generation. It's kind of like what we were talking about a little bit, of just, what was Jason Lee's character's name? Was it Brody?
Yes, Brody.
Who's he still loves the mall, but it's dying, and his kid doesn't understand why he won't let it go, or something. I forget.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So that's what I saw too. I saw him post something on some social media site, and it was kind of Kevin talking about how he ran into Jason Lee. It's been 21 years ago. He was retiring his career as a professional skateboarder, beginning his career as an actor. And he was just like, it's cool how we're coming back to it. And yeah, that he's It says, I liked him when I met him in 1995, but I love him now for the man and the artist he's become. I cannot wait to be on the Mallrats series set when this real-life father of 3, almost 4, brings Brody Bruce back as the dream dad to his and Renee's fictional kid, Banner Bruce.
Oh,
So,
they did that, didn't they?
yeah.
Oh, oh,
And
that's just bad. Well, I should just be thankful they didn't call him Wayne.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
That'll be a thing at the end. He's gonna have a little brother. We're
Right,
gonna name
right,
him
yeah.
Wayne Bruce. Oh, God.
Surprise, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
so that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. I can't wait for that to happen. Now, did they get someone to? Where are they at with that?
I think they're just waiting on him to stop filming everything for DC.
Oh, okay, right,
Yeah,
right.
because like they've got their location, they've got the cast. I,
Mhm.
they've got funding. Pretty sure
I
they've
hope
got. Yeah.
I hope it ends up on Netflix. Honestly.
I I don't know if it'll be a Netflix thing, but it may end up streaming somewhere. It seems like something that'll be more streaming or like on the Universal channel or something. Like
Yeah. Oh,
it's
I
not.
saw that you could stream Raw and SmackDown now on the USA app.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you do it, yeah, if you do it live, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was like, oh, that's cool. I can
But
do
is
that
it
here.
just the because like I tried doing that on I forget what it might have been my Apple TV and like it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe it's just because the app's different. Because
Hmm.
like I try to do because like I have Time Warner and I tried watching USA on the Time Warner app on my Xbox and it wouldn't let me.
Yeah, I have so much trouble. I have Bright House. To
I'm
try to do it
sorry.
on my well, no, I love Bright House. My internet service is hardly ever gone out. My speeds
Wow.
are fantastic. Um, I love them, but
You
the
had a
one,
much different experience than I had.
yeah, well, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, but you were living in a multi-dwelling unit.
well, but even before that though.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that because I've lived in, I don't know, 4 different apartments. They've always had, just because you're sharing it with everyone else, and people are just
Right. I mean that's
right,
one thing. Yeah. Like
right,
that's you can't blame them for all of that. Yeah.
right, exactly. But once I started renting this house, it's just been easy sailing. So I have nothing bad to say about them with that. It's just the online service, and maybe it's my computer, but it's got to be my computer because I can do it on my phone, easy peasy. And so that's what I'll do sometimes. Is like if I'm out in my kitchen or something, I'll log into that and watch it while I'm walking around. But I didn't know you could do the USA app too, so I was like, oh, that's cool, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I wish they could somehow put the episodes on Raw or Raw and SmackDown on the app on the WWE Network, but I guess because of USA's deal, they can't.
Right. Yeah, it's in the thing.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, Netflix. Yeah, no, I could totally see that heading there. There's a Netflix documentary that just came out. And I'll try and get the name of it before the end of the show. Oh, I don't know anything about it, but it looked interesting. It was called, I think Audrey and Daisy.
Okay.
Have you heard about this? It was like a documentary. It almost looked like how they did what was the one about the person getting arrested,
Oh, was it Making of a Murderer or something?
making of a murder. Yeah. This one was about, I guess, the sexual assault of uh these two girls in school, and about cyberbullying
Interesting.
in high school. Yeah. And of course in 2016 you know that's a huge thing, of course. And so I don't know, it just the trailer just kept increasing and increasing and increasing, like just how bad it got for these two girls. I don't know I know this is a true story. I don't know anything about it, so I kind of want to watch it. It looks really intriguing. And sad. Uh oh, there was something else I meant to mention during the movies. Did you see the trailer for it was Jennifer.
Oh, Passengers.
Yes, did you see the trailer?
Yeah, I did. I'm interested.
Oh, I'm totally on board. It reminded me of like a really expensive moon, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, you got these two people on a ship. They wake up too early. It looks like at some point in time they're trying to keep everyone else alive, and like the trailer kind of ends on the cliff hanger that like I never told you why we woke up early or whatever. Or
Right.
there's like he was hiding something or whatever. So I don't know. Could be interesting. So definitely want to check that out. All right. Let's see here. What's the next one? Oh yeah.
Speaking of things in space.
Right. Star Trek Discovery CBS show premieres pushed to May 2017.
Yeah, they were going to do the pilot in December and then the series in January, I think was the original plan.
Oh wow, yeah. So it's going to be in May.
Yeah.
I just want this to come out. I want to see it. I know it's going to be probably weird to figure out how to watch it, but
I know how I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch the first episode on CBS and then not see any of the rest of it because I'm not paying for their stupid on-demand service.
And this is what I'm talking about. Networks have to be careful because this is exactly why people are going to steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat that. That's what's going to happen.
Nobody's going to pay for a CBS Netflix. It's just,
nope.
It's not going to happen. There's no way.
Nope. If this was on Netflix, they would make so much more money.
Yeah.
So much more money because people would go, all right, I'm keeping Netflix. It's got everything else. Or it's not the only show in town. You have Hulu. If it was on Hulu, same thing. You'd get more people watching it. But now that it's on the CBS thing, it is going to die there. It is going to die. There's nothing. What else is there to watch on there? You want to watch what? The Big Bang Theory?
I mean, that's the thing. They've taken what everybody else has done, which is have the last handful of episodes or whatever of every show they have, and say, okay, we're going to have that same platform, except ours you're going to have to pay for.
Well, it's just stupid. I mean, here's the thing. I could see another company doing what Netflix does and getting away with it, but you know what? They're smart enough to not be doing that right now. Because you know what company that is? Disney.
Yeah.
Disney could have easily done that and said, we have an app where you can stream all of the movies, Star Wars, cartoons, all the Disney stuff, Disney Channel, they could have done that.
Marvel.
But not Marvel. Yeah, exactly. All of that on one channel. People pay the $5 for that. But CBS? No. No.
Even Disney was smart enough to say, you know what's going to work better for us if we just partner with Netflix. Get them to pay us a bunch of money and let them do it. It's so much easier that way.
Yeah, and look at the quality, man. We got Luke Cage coming out in a few days.
Right?
Whew. Yeah, man. I can't wait for that. Next Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. I can't wait for that.
But CBS, like the balls on CBS to be like, oh no, we're going to start being our own Netflix. Yeah, this is an experiment that is going to die slow, and unfortunately slow, painful death.
Yeah.
It's not going to be fast because they're not going to give up on it. They're not going to look at this and say, wow, this didn't work at all. We should stop doing this. They're going to look at this and say, hey, we'll talk about it at the meeting in 4 years.
Yeah.
Like that's just what's going to happen. And it's going to be sad. Not in a really emotional sense, but just in kind of like a shake your head, I can't believe this is still happening kind of way.
Right. And I guess Fox is suing Netflix over poaching a pair of executives.
Yeah, this is something that I don't think we've had a really good case of in a while.
Well, I mean, you can't sue a company for poaching.
Yes, you can.
Really?
That's what poaching. Here's the thing. We're not talking about people who are like, all right, we're done with Fox, now we're going to Netflix. We're talking about, hey, we're still under contract with Fox, and we're going to go work at Netflix. That you can sue over. That's breach of contract. That you absolutely can sue over. Oh yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Oh, it's similar to a non-compete thing. You can't. It's not like this is not like having two regular jobs. It's not like being a host at Applebee's and a server at Cracker Barrel. This is a lot more legally binding than that.
I get not holding two positions like that with two different companies, but I don't know the fine print of all that. But yeah, I guess if you sign a contract, you can't have dinners with the competitor.
Well, this isn't meetings. They went to work at Netflix. Like they were under contract. Nobody from WWE also works in TNA at the same time.
Well, right. I'm saying, of course. I'm saying they would have to leave the one. So I imagine these executives left Fox and worked for Netflix.
But they were still under contract. Their contracts had not expired.
Gotcha. Yeah, so yeah, they can. Yeah, so, they signed a contract. They're screwed.
Right.
No, I thought that meant like they had dinners, they had meetings, and so they left the company. And it didn't. Yeah. So yeah, if they have contracts,
Yeah, I'm sure they did have dinners, and they did leave the company. They just forgot that they hadn't legally left the company yet.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Can't breach a contract like that. That's a no-no.
Right, and that's bad, but I also see it looks bad for Fox too, because
it really looks bad for Fox.
Yeah, they're like, oh well, if we can't beat them, let's sue them for leaving.
Uh-huh.
If those executives are willing to do that,
right, and it also, in a weird way, this helps legitimize Netflix as a competitor.
Oh, absolutely, and this just looks bad all around for Fox. It makes them look scared. It does not look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad enough that so many Netflix shows keep winning all kinds of awards.
Now, I didn't see the Emmys. Did you?
No.
Oh, okay.
And apparently neither did anybody else because the ratings were awful.
Was it on Sunday?
Monday.
They put it up. See, Monday too. Why'd they put it up against football?
Because it's the Emmys and nobody cares.
They should have done Wednesday or something. To me, that's like, if you're a little bit interested, it's like, oh, okay, there's nothing else on, but Monday and Sunday, that's football. I mean, that's wrestling. Like there's those days you don't want to touch.
The problem is it was a week too late, really, because you can't move it to Wednesday now because all the shows have started. You can't get into the middle of pilot season. They should have done it on a Wednesday or a Thursday last week.
Yeah. Do you know who took away anything, or?
I know Game of Thrones won like everything. Big surprise.
Yeah, that's no surprise. Yeah. That show is just. Yeah. I'd be surprised if they don't do the prequel. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we'll talk about actually that when we get back. I know we only got a few seconds, but we'll actually get into that when we get back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and real fast, I thought it was interesting. George R.R. Martin talked a little bit about prequel to Game of Thrones. I guess he said, and I'm quoting him, he said, well, I do have thousands of pages of fake history of everything that led up to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So there's a wealth of material there, and I'm still writing more. Write the rest of the book. Stop writing the prequels.
Finish what we need you to finish before you start on the other things.
Exactly. He said, before coming slightly down to earth, he said, but at the moment we still have this show to finish, and I still have 2 books to finish.
Right?
So that's all speculation. It's gonna happen. This world is too vast and too wide, and too much money to be made for them to leave it aside. I imagine it'll be a whole new cast and everything else, and maybe someone will have like they'll see the future or something, so you'll have some guest appearances or whatever. Or who knows, maybe it will take place afterwards. That's what I would like. I don't like prequels. I don't like knowing where they're going to end up. I get it, the journey, but I would much rather it be like
it depends on
down the road.
Well, but I mean, like, it depends on how far back you set a prequel. Like that.
Still, I'm weird. Even the Old Republic, I'm like, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but you see, I would love some Old Republic stuff.
Yes, but at the same time, that is some of my least most interesting Star Wars stuff.
Oh,
I'm
boo! Give me something with Revan in it, and I am all in. Absolutely.
I don't know. I'm anything that is the future, and you give me just a morsel of moving the I don't know, moving it forward just a little bit into unknown territory. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
The undiscovered country. I want to explore forward. I hate going back because it's like I know how this is going to end up. Maybe not for the characters or whatever. And I think like for example Rogue One, I'm super pumped for Rogue One. I can't wait for Rogue One. But there is that little thing in the back of my head going, I know how this is going to end.
Yeah.
Or at least a part of it. We know they're going to get the plans. So that is not even a plot point. And it probably is a huge plot point in the movie, but we already know that's going to happen. We know they're going to get the plans.
Right.
And you know what? The big twist they're probably going to do is hopefully getting you involved in the characters and watching them all die.
Yeah.
That's who's going to live, who's going to die, sort of thing. So things like that, things like prequels, the most exciting things to me about those are the Easter eggs, are the little things that you know is going to happen, so they dance with it and they play around with it. And they did that with Star Wars, of course. They did that with The Hobbit. But I don't like how those things, and it's my own head, but I don't like how those things take precedence over the story, and it always does. And I don't like it, and it's my own thinking. I know that, but that's what always ends up happening. So I know if they did a prequel to Game of Thrones, I would just kind of be paying attention to the Easter eggs or the references and stuff like that instead of paying attention to the story. And it's the reverse when I'm doing it with the newer stuff, like with Star Wars Force Awakens. I want to know what's happening, what's going to happen in the future. I'm interested in these characters. I wouldn't be as interested if it was a prequel.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, it's more Game of Thrones, so I'm not complaining. Yeah, exactly. But for example, Battlestar Galactica, I'd love something forward, not backwards. Backwards, Caprica was boring as shit to me. Anyway, where were we? Back to TV. I don't know anything about this, but the Grand Tour, Top Gear's Trio, new car show is on Amazon to premiere in November 18th.
Oh yeah. You didn't. Have you not watched any Top Gear on Netflix?
No, and and Amazon's another place that they could have put Star Trek. That would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Amazon, Hulu, or Netflix. One of those three, pick them. I don't care what it is. Don't put it on Yahoo or whatever. Jesus, stop it. Yeah. No. So tell me. Yes, I remember you talking about this. How they left and now they're doing.
They're basically just doing the same thing, but on Amazon with a different name, because they can't use the original name, obviously.
Right. The Grand Tour, so that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. It's basically just the same thing. It's the same three, and say what you will about Clarkson, at least he's entertaining. He may be everything that you might think he is, but he makes for a fun foil for that trio. So
yeah,
but so that'll be interesting, and you should definitely watch. Just like pick an episode. You don't really need to. That's a great thing. Like you could just grab one and just be, all right, I'm just gonna watch this.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I mean, I'll be honest. Cars are the most least interesting thing to me. They get me to point A to point B. I
right.
have no desire.
Yeah, and that's what's great about the show. Like, it's not. You would turn on something like Trucks was on Spike or something, and it's like they dissect why every bolt goes where. This is not that. This is like, okay, yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about cars. But really, then we're gonna get in a handful of like really big heavy equipment trucks, and try to drive across, wherever it was. I can't even remember what country they were in. Myanmar, I think. But like, it's fun little stuff like that, and that's the core of the show. The biggest part about, we've spent a couple minutes talking about this car. Now we're going to show somebody driving it really fast around our track. Those are always fun to me.
Right.
It's more. It really is like there is a little bit of information there, but most of it is about the entertainment. And that's because if it had just been like, this is a show about cars, it would have bored me to tears.
Oh wow.
It really would have. But it's like, here's a show about how many different ways we can build an ambulance that won't work right.
Oh wow.
It's great.
Yeah. Damn.
It's
Yeah, no, I'll check it out. Where can I watch that?
Netflix. They've got a handful of seasons on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Because it's run for like 20 years. So and
Oh.
they don't have all of it, but they have they have like the last, I think, four seasons.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it's British TV, so there's like 9 episodes per season.
Oh wow. Yeah. Damn.
But yeah, it's fun, you know.
Yeah.
And you don't have to. You're like, oh, okay, this is that, and anything that you don't know, where it's like, oh, what is this? Oh, okay, that's what this is. Like it all explains itself.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'll check out a few episodes. I always give it a chance.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see, what else do we got here? Oh yeah, you go ahead and take this next one.
Yeah. So Adult Swim, in honor of Clay Croak, I believe was his name, who voiced Zorak and Moltar on the Space Ghost Coast to Coast. He passed away earlier this week,
Yeah.
and so they aired the first episode of Coast to Coast on Adult Swim, and then they thought, well, you know what? It's hard to find this stuff unless you do it digitally. So we're just gonna put pretty much the entire series up online for free.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Cause my God, that was such a fun show.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's really great to go back now, because like when it was on and I was like 8, I was like, this is just bizarre. What is this?
Oh yeah, I remember it coming on. I remember watching South Park, and then and then right after South Park, I'd always turn it to Cartoon Network because it would have something Adult Swim like.
Yeah.
And I remember this show being on, and I remember being like, the fuck are they like
Right.
they had like maybe Brad Pitt or somebody talk, like random celebrities.
Right.
Like I remember wrestlers were on it or something. I forgot who.
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah, it was just weird, and they were talking the cartoon characters, and I was like, this is funny and different and weird, and how is this being allowed to be, who's funding this? Like, I just thought it was cool, and
Yeah.
you could tell they took like the stills from or I don't know how they did it, but
Well, because they did that, they would do an interview, and then they just cut it up and put the wrong pieces in whenever they felt like it.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
that was what was so great about that. And then everything with God, I'll never forget like Zorak and his little offspring or whatever, and I can't remember the thing's name, because by the end of the episode he ate him. And it was like, what is this?
Yeah. They are something special over there at Adult Swim.
I'm telling you what, man. But I mean, that was like Coast to Coast was kind of the precursor to that. Like that was the first kind of Adult Swim thing that they did. And it was just, they were like, well, let's just do something weird. And it was like 11:30 at night. And I don't know, because like after that was like old Toonheads reruns or something.
Right. I haven't seen Adult Swim in forever, honestly. I'm wondering what do they show on there now? Do they still have like Robot Chicken? I remember there being Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I imagine, man. I have not watched Adult Swim in years.
Oh, it looks like a lot of live stuff now.
They were kind of heading that way. Oh.
Too Many Cooks?
Okay, I don't know what that is.
Oh, I've seen that where it's like 15 minutes of the intro. It's called Too Many Cooks, and it's like an intro to like an old 90s sitcom, and it keeps introducing characters, and it goes like off the rails to where it's like a psychopath and he's killing the other characters. Yeah, definitely watch Too Many Cooks Adult Swim on YouTube. You'll see the whole thing.
Okay.
And it's on their YouTube, so it's okay. Rick and Morty. Yeah, I imagine that's super popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick and Morty seemed to take over like what I see a lot of people used to watch Family Guy or people like our age used to watch Family Guy and whatnot. I see them all going towards it was like Adventure Time and then now Rick and Morty.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you ever seen Rick and Morty?
I have, but like it's not,
Not for you.
not really.
Yeah, I felt like I see why people love it. I see why people like it. I find it funny, but it's not.
Yeah,
If it would have got me maybe 5 years ago, I would have probably loved the hell out of it.
yeah.
10 years ago, I guess is what I'm saying. Jesus, I'm getting old. I would have loved it 10 years ago, but now it's just it's okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, I think we're getting some video game news. So again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we got a little bit of video game news to talk about. A few things. We're gonna get into because Pokemon dropped one of their weekly here's some new Pokemon stuff. Did you happen to see the leaked, or maybe it wasn't leaked, but the new anime, the trailer for it?
Oh yeah, Generations.
No. There's the new, well, not Generations, the web only one. I'm talking about the actual anime Pokemon and what it's going to look like for the new season.
Oh no, I hadn't seen. No, that I had not seen.
The animation's different.
Really?
Ash looks completely different. It looks more like One Piece.
Really?
They apparently are going more for a slice of life type anime than what they've been doing, where Ash is in school. He's not traveling. He's not trying to. There's no gyms in the Aloha region, so he's like, okay, I'll go to school then and get a girlfriend. And it's weird, but at the same time, it's new. It's different. I actually welcome it.
Yeah, that's true, because I mean, it really has been the same thing since it started.
Yeah, and he never wins. So
yeah, he never wins the big one, because then there would be no point in him doing anything else.
Right, exactly. So, hey, why not? I think what could possibly do. Now, let's be, most of the people that watch the Pokemon anime are kids. I don't think people who watch anime in general take it. It's one of those I don't know if they take it that seriously, as of course they do Attack on Titan or One Piece or something like that.
Right.
I know it has a huge fan base and a huge following, but it's mostly geared towards kids. This might be a way for them to get in the crowd that loves that slice of life type anime. And it looks different. Pikachu looks different. Ash looks different. He's got these squiggly lines underneath his eyes and stuff. He looks more stretchy or plastic. It's hard to explain, but he doesn't look like the same. Doesn't look like the same style at all. It looks more like his arms look like they go longer when he's. Does that make sense? He looks just not. It doesn't look like the same kind of animation style. Definitely check that out. It's bizarre. But they released a lot of new. Well, they released something in the trailer. I'm not going to go through the names or anything. But basically, it was a few different gorillas or orangutans. It showed that some of them have different. Some of the Pokemon have different forms depending on what version you get, which I think is really cool. That's going to make people want to trade even more. What else did it have? It had some new Z moves for some of the characters, but that's all it really showed. This game is what, 2 months away?
Yeah, November 18th.
Yeah, November 18th. So yeah, it's almost exactly 2 months away. So it's getting closer. That's probably my most anticipated game coming out. There's nothing coming out, man. Is there anything you can think of?
Games in the future?
Yeah, for me, Mafia 3 and Pokemon are the two that I'm excited about this time of year before Christmas.
Well, we've got WWE 2K17 coming out.
That's true, but the last one I did not like.
No, not big on 16.
I tried playing it, and I try and I try and I try, and I just can't get into it. It's not. I'm missing something. I don't like the grappling. The way for you to block something or to stop a move from happening, it's too quick. too late. It's like, well, how am I supposed to know when to press it? There's no clear indicator.
Well, you can change those settings, right?
I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't know because there's nothing explaining that.
That's
There's
my
nothing
biggest
explaining anything.
that's my biggest problem with 16 that I hope they fixed in 17. There's absolutely no tutorial element.
There's no tutorial. There's no, oh, hey, if you don't like this, try this.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I'm like, well, wait a second. How do I know when to counter? And I picked, like, I don't know, John Cena, like the best with the best stats, and it's Enzo Mori's beating my ass because I can't figure out how to counter anything. It's just not good. And then I thought it was stupid. Is I was like, okay, I'll do the Royal Rumble. My guy will get thrown out. I'll come in as the next guy. Nope.
No, it doesn't work like that anymore. Hasn't worked like that for a while.
Yeah, but what's the fun in that?
That you pick somebody and that that it's a more realistic experience. It's not as arcadey.
That's so stupid. There should be an option where it's like
I agree with. Yes.
You and your friends can sit around and just have fun. And and the next person gets knocked out, and then you're the next random person. That's exciting. That's fun. I get like what you're saying. Yes, that have it just a setting. Have a setting where you can change that instead, because I think that's where wrestling games are at their best, is when you're playing with your friends.
Totally.
Yeah, and it's. I'm definitely getting it because I'm in full wrestling mode right now, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Might even get like the NXT one. I think I have to pre-order that though. Yeah, when does that come out? It comes out soon, right? October?
October. Hang on, I just had it here.
Finn Balor statue.
Yeah, good. Yeah, see if they have any of those in stock anymore.
I think I can still get the pre-order. We'll see.
Yeah,
I know you can get it off the WWE website.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Yeah, the 11th, October 11th.
Yeah, so definitely be getting that. I saw they showed some of the DLC today. WWE 17 DLC.
Did they? Who was
the first? Gallows and Anderson.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Austin Aries, The Godfather, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Kerry Von Erich.
Kerry Von Erich.
Eric, that's right. Yeah, the family. Mojo Rawley, Papa Shangu, Ty Dillinger, Eddie Guerrero.
That's not a bad list.
That's the first batch of. Ty Dillinger is the 10 guy?
10, yeah.
10.
They
were doing 10. That. I had no idea what was going on, but I was like, okay, I'll do it. 10. Yeah. Why do they do the 10? What is that?
He's the perfect 10.
The perfect 10. So it's a rip off of Mr. Perfect. Gotcha.
It's like, well, what if we took that, and tweaked it a little, pretty much. Yeah.
That's wrestling as a whole.
Yeah, everything has its roots in something else. Yeah.
Yeah. And I forgot what I was watching, but it was Stone Cold that said that. He was like, everyone stole something from somebody.
Yeah.
They just put their own little twist on it.
And sometimes they steal from themselves. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so that's some of the first announced wrestlers that I'm surprised. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson is in the main roster, but I guess you have to have some DLC.
Well, and the other thing is, how far into development was the game before they were signed?
They had AJ Styles.
But he was before the rest of the club.
Was he that far before? I thought he was just like not
was
that.
He?
I thought it was like maybe a few months. They have Shakira Nakamura. Like they got them all at the same time, right?
Not entirely.
I thought they got Shakira Nakamura and those two.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinsuke. Why am I saying Shakira? Sorry. Fuck, it's way too late for me. Sorry. Shakira Nakamura. Jesus Christ. I thought they got all of them from New Japan at the same time.
I don't think so. I think they started talking to them at about the same time, but I don't think they all came in at the same time.
Okay. I think it was one of those like what culture things where it was like,
right.
But it was an old one and it was like they're talking to these people.
Yeah, because like here's the thing, because Nakamura showed up at was it the first Takeover Brooklyn? No. Where did he show?
Yeah, he was in Dallas.
Yeah, okay, so he was at the one before Mania. Styles debuted at the Rumble a couple months before that. Gallows and Anderson, Gallows and Anderson, Gallows and Anderson. They. I don't remember. Were they after or were they before?
Right. Okay. So on January 6, 2016, AJ Styles, Nakamura, Carl Anderson, and Doc Gallows. There's a news story from WWE, like actually on their thing that says, "Are they coming to the WWE sports entertainment world?" Then buzzing this week is speculation. Four massive international superstars. Blah 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 blah. It says the office of WWE COO and EVP Talent Relations Triple H declined to comment. I don't know. Why would they post their own? Like, are they coming? And it's from WWE.com.
They're trying to be meta.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes it doesn't work.
And it showed the Instagram of Finn Balor, posting, pictures of the club and stuff like that. Him wearing a shirt that says the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
And like the door open with him looking at his clock, waiting on them. Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, no, they have to have DLC of somebody. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Papa Shango's an interesting choice.
Wait, who?
Papa Shango. That's an old pull. God, they're gonna have the Boogeyman next. Oh boy.
Yeah, you know what I've been there's some tucked away things in the network that I found. There's one that's Beyond the Ring, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And it's like what the WWE 24 is, but for so many more things. So like I watched the Dusty Rhodes one, I watched the Click one, Sting, Triple H, just a whole bunch of them to like. It's really cool. It dives into a lot of their past and stuff that there's one for WrestleMania where it kind of covers every WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And what the stories were around it and what made it so important and whatnot. And yeah, I get the feeling that 17 they considered the best. That was the pinnacle for them.
Yeah, that tends to be consensus.
Yeah, it seems to be the one that, and it is. I went back and watched it. I was like, oh, yep, yeah, that was okay. And I remember getting that pay-per-view. That was one that my stepdad got. I remember just, Stone Cold Rock. That was the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So, oh man, it's weird looking back and remembering. Okay, where was I during that time? Where in my life and oh, that's right, I was living here. I was doing this. I was doing that. And it's weird to think about.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cool. Taking a trip down memory lane. So where were we? We were on video games. Death Stranding. Kojima says the game will be out before 2019. Will also feature female protagonists. And did you see that? I didn't see this here, but I also heard on Giant Bomb that it's also an open world, or it has open world elements.
Sure,
and
that makes
multiplayer
sense.
elements.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I still have no idea what this game is.
No, nobody knows.
Yeah. Oh man, I guess they were joking about like, what if one of you are the fetus and the other person is Norman Reedus, and so you're playing together attached by a cord. And he's like, that's the metaphor for life, or what he's like, Kojima blowing minds still. I don't know. I thought it was funny. Like, man, whatever that guy gets on before he sits down and comes up with an idea, like, it's got to be something strong.
Share.
Yeah, exactly.
Because say what you will, they're really interesting ideas.
Yeah. No doubt.
The execution may sometimes leave something to be desired, but there's definitely something there.
Oh yeah, on paper, Metal Gear Solid shouldn't work. It is batshit crazy. It's almost like wrestling. It's just so far out there.
Yeah.
Where they're like, let's see what's going to turn people off, and if it doesn't, and it does the opposite. It gets them like, wait, so he's liquid and solid, and he's like, it blows people's mind where on paper it really shouldn't.
Yeah.
because it's so fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, none of that short. You should be like, okay, this is a dumb idea. This is a stupid idea. He does what? He loses what? No, you can't. And then no, none of this works.
Right. Well, that's why I always, maybe, yeah, his characters are such outrageous, flamboyant characters. That's why when I first saw Nakamura, and maybe it was fucked up me to think about, but I was like, he just feels like if Kojima made a wrestler. And he made him flamboyant, and he gave him the jacket, and the way he walks to the ring, and he takes like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It reminded me that's what I thought of, because I think around that time I was playing Metal Gear Solid, but I was like, fuck, this is if Kojima was signed by the WWE to write this guy's character. And just how, the King of Strong Style and his facial expressions, the way you can't explain him. You just have to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I never thought about that before. That's not bad.
Yeah, and and on paper it doesn't make any sense, but when you see it, you're just like, fuck, that dude he's just dripping style. You just want to cheer for him. The way he teases, he takes Samoa Joe's nose. If anyone else did that, it wouldn't be funny. It wouldn't have landed. But he stole his nose in the ring and started giggling, and it got Joe. He got so mad. Like little things like that.
Yeah.
I loved, and I thought he's such a character. He's a larger than life character, and that's what wrestling's all about. And so when I see Kojima's stuff, it's all larger than life. It's all like, what the fuck did I just watch? So yeah, I think we all can't wait for. And look at him coming out on stage with like things coming in front of him.
Right, that was well, and I mean that's the thing that's great about him is that he has embraced all of this, but he understands that it's just a reflection of how much everybody appreciates the work he does. It's not ego. He's not coming out on a throne because he thinks he deserves it or something. He's coming out to all of this kind of like production and fanfare because everybody enjoys it.
Oh, he knows he's a character. He has a Twitter account dedicated to spaghetti.
Okay, I like him a whole lot more now.
Have you seen this?
I have not seen that.
He loves spaghetti. He also has a YouTube channel where he talks about spaghetti.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a YouTube channel where he just talks about movies too.
That one I've seen, yeah.
Yeah. He loves his pasta. Like, go and Google Kojima spaghetti, and it's like him posting a picture of like a specific kind of spaghetti, and it says like everything is beautiful. And another one will say beautiful, comma, indeed. Like it's crazy as shit, but it's fantastic. It's like I can't explain it. But yeah, his Twitter is just full of it. So I love it. Stuff like that I want more of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That makes more sense than John Cena's Instagram.
Oh, dude, that's a rabbit hole.
That's just because it's just pictures. Like there's no captions for anything. It's just this bizarre string of pictures.
I was convinced he was addicted to painkillers a week or two ago. Every picture had painkillers as a cartoon character, and I kept thinking, like, is he going through something dark right now? Like, is he? What he could have been. You know what I mean? Like, go back and look at John Cena's picture for like the last few months. There's a lot of where it's like painkillers and he's like fighting himself and stuff like that. And I'm just, well, maybe someone he knows is going through that. And wrestlers do that. They get injured and those things are handed out like candy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could tell he's a huge nerd, like a giant fucking nerd. Because a lot of those pictures and references, most of them I didn't even get. I had to go look up, and I'm like, oh, it's Technobowl or whatever. He's, like, oh my god, like the anime characters are so obscure, but apparently he's huge in anime too. But yeah, that whole Instagram feed is just, yeah. But anyway, where were we? Kojima, Cena, yeah. So Death Stranding, can't wait. That's gonna be batshit crazy in all the best ways. Star Wars Battlefront, the Death Star DLC released for season pass holders. Wide release coming October 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I mean, I you know, I'm done with Battlefront. I'm getting that, of course. I think I bought the season pass, so I'll be getting that. Um, I'm ready for the next Star Wars game to come out. It can't come out soon enough.
Right.
Sucks they won't have it. I mean, they have the next Battlefront DLC is going to be related to Rogue One, but it sucks they don't have a game coming out around that time. Love the hell out of the Lego stuff. I'm probably going to play through it and try and unlock everything. Um, Hands down, the best Lego game they've ever made, because there's so much stuff they do different in this that you don't do in the other ones, like the first person shooter and stuff like that. Like, they really switched it up. But I mean, it's still Legos.
Right.
It gives you that scratch of, I want a game where I can collect a lot of things and have fun in a Star Wars with all the music and the sounds and the beep boop boop and the little tiny comedy and stuff. It's cool. It's really fun. But yeah, I'll hop in Battlefront, play that for a little bit. All my friends are in Destiny, so what can you do?
Right.
Yeah, we got Mass Effect Andromeda. BioWare is running Explorers Wanted contest to find voice actor for upcoming game.
Yeah. And my auditions are in, and for grins, they are posted up on our page.
There you go. Go listen to it. I'm definitely gonna listen to it.
It's so easy to do. They give you the script, and it's for one of two characters. One is clearly like a merchant,
Mm-hmm.
who's it's what's it, tough mercenary is the character, and it's clearly like, this is a guy who's been around, he's seen some stuff, he runs a shop, and he's just like, look, this is just business. Doesn't really care about much, except he gets to run his business. The other one is the one that I like a little better, and it's Jordan Tate, and he's like a journalist kind of character.
Right.
And I liked him. He had a little more character to him.
Cool.
But they give you the script, and it's just do an audio or a quick video recording just of you reading the script, and then email them the links, and you're done. Like, it's pretty much just that simple.
Nice.
But so go do it, and they encourage posting the auditions on social media and hashtagging them. If anybody else listening does theirs, put them up on our page. What the hell,
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Why
Hey,
not?
maybe I'll even try it.
You should.
Yeah, I'll go check it out. You posted it on yours, or did you post it on the
Page.
on the page? Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check that out and do my own.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see here. South Park, The Fractured But Whole, delayed until early 2017.
Yeah, I figure by March.
Yeah.
Which is not bad, because the Stick of Truth was delayed.
Oh yeah, it was delayed.
Well, and then THQ got sold.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
The
that
fact that we're even getting this is
right.
a shock to begin with, because I think they literally were like, we never want to make video games again, and then I think the joke was they came and dropped a bag of money on their table, and we're like, okay, I guess we could.
Right, and then it was just like, well, we're only gonna do this if we do, because it's just an episode of South Park.
Yeah,
It's what the Stick of Truth is. It's an interactive episode of South Park, which is perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Oh yeah. The way and I love that they kind of evolved from the JRPG to now the tactics. It's like it's the natural evolution of that.
Right.
And it's so cool. And the superhero Civil War thing is just so relevant. Yeah. So I can't wait. That's gonna be great. That's gonna be hilarious. Are you gonna get the Smell-O-Vision thing?
I know.
No, it's a piece of it's a
No,
pre-order exclusive from somewhere.
yeah, they can have that. I don't
I'm
want
just kidding.
it.
It's so fucking dumb.
Because they did,
It's fantastic that it exists though.
yeah, they did. IGN demoed it, didn't they?
Yeah, they
They
did.
they demoed it. I think it was at E3,
Hmm.
and it was just, oh god, they, yeah, like,
You know what I'm getting worried about, honestly though?
what?
VR.
Why?
Have you seen a commercial for PlayStation VR?
It's a good point.
I haven't heard a
Well,
thing. I haven't seen a thing, and it comes out next month.
well, here's the thing: the pre-orders sold out, so I don't think they're too
We should
worried.
be in full VR press mode right now. The full,
Not if
commercial YouTube clips. It should be in everybody's face. Imagine, when they said we're seeing this as a new console launch,
right,
and they're absolutely not doing that because a month leading up to the PlayStation 4, it was everywhere. It's not now at all. I don't see it anywhere. I don't see anyone. I don't hear anyone talking about it. I'm not hearing about any great games coming to it. It honestly has me worried. It honestly has me double thinking about pulling my money from it.
I think it'll be fine.
I know. I don't want to. I'm seeing it maybe as the canary in the coal mine. It's worrisome because it's like I did see that it comes with like a demo disc of like a shitload of games,
Right.
but they're demo, of course they're demos of them. But I think that is absolutely needed because when you get it, you're gonna want to sit there and fuck around with the experiences.
Right. And then you go out and say, "Oh yeah, by the way, they're doing a Batman VR game. I'm sold." What?
Right, the Batman, the Star Wars, that's all cool.
Right. They've got Drive Club VR. There's not a tremendous amount of VR at launch.
I think and see, here's the give and take. I think VR is best. Now the only one I've ever tried was the Vive. But I can't imagine the Oculus even being as good because it doesn't have the same kind of controllers and you're not in the same space, whatever. PlayStation, same thing. You're not. It's not the same. But when I imagine VR is best ingested with smaller type games, like not like the Batman's gonna be small, the Star Wars is gonna be small. I don't think that bigger games are gonna thrive on this thing where you're sitting in it for hours.
We're not gonna have Call of Duty VR.
Right, exactly. I think this is gonna thrive in the even like the ones where you're playing like older style games, like a tennis or something like that, but you're just bite-sized games, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sell it for $10, kind of like they do on the store for like the indie, the smaller games like Tetris and Pac-Man or whatever. Those smaller type games where like you're catching a ball, you're doing this, that's where I think it's going to thrive.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like a Dragon Age VR is not gonna go well.
Right. Right. So anyway, it has me worried, and I think, I don't know what to think because all anyone's been talking about is the PlayStation Pro and the Slim, and not a fucking word about VR when it should be in everyone's conversation in the game industry, and it's not. It's going to sneak in, and to me, it just seems like it's going to be a soft fart. You know?
That's a fair point. That's a
Yeah.
fair
Like
point.
it's got me worried. So the closer we get to it, definitely will be you know game time to decide.
Right?
But at that $400, it looks like it'd be going to something else, real fast. Like NX or something. Like hopefully we hear soon. Rumor has it we might hear about it this week.
Yeah, well, we heard that last week too.
Right, exactly.
That's kind of the thing of like, well, somebody's gonna talk about that on Thursday. All right, that was like a week ago.
Well, no, no, no. This time actually, Nintendo flew people out to a place. It's not just like, oh, I've heard rumbling. It's like, oh no, they actually sent people now.
Huh.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find the article. Um, I don't know.
Well,
We'll
go
take
ahead.
a quick break. I'll look for it on my break.
Sounds good.
And I'll look up that article where they flew people or whatnot. But anyway, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And we got some more news to talk about. But before we went to the break, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Nintendo NX. Now take this with a huge grain of salt, gigantic grain of salt. Because I think the site was like mynintendonews.com, which it could all be bullshit. Most likely is. But they're saying that they have details have surfaced that that Nintendo in Germany, that they're going to be announcing it in a few days, and that they are sending people over there. They've signed NDAs and whatnot for it, blah 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 blah. So it's just a rumor. Who knows? But hopefully we hear something next week about it. Now we did the who came out with Pokemon about it. Didn't someone high up in Pokemon talk about it?
Yeah, I forget who it was, but it was definitely somebody like way high up.
He did confirm that it is a console handheld hybrid. No, we've known that, but this seems like it's the first like top dog person to officially acknowledge it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no one high up in Nintendo has said, it's a they've all been saying just wait. And rumor this was high up in Pokemon that said it is a handheld console hybrid. So what I imagine is it's something that you can play there at your house on the big screen and use the handheld as like kind of like a touchscreen, but like with the controller, and it's something that you can take on the go with you and play the game, in your car or wherever. I can't wait, dude.
That's if that is exactly what it is, then that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. But one of my buddies, Rocco, hates that idea for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, he wants an actual console-focused console, and I'm like, dude, where he just keep this in mind. He just got a 3DS, loves it, blah 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 blah. I'm like, that's where, to me personally, I think Nintendo does best on handhelds. Pokemon, obviously, they're tied in with that, but I've enjoyed the Mario games, Zelda, Donkey Kong, more on handhelds. Because you can take it to the bathroom, you can put it on the couch, you can lay in your bed on a lazy Sunday and play a game. You don't have to be sitting in your couch. You don't have to be nailed down to the living room. You can sit at the dining room table. You can do it. You go visit your parents. You can go sit at their house with it. Friends or family members or brothers and sisters. I love the idea of it being something that I can sit on my couch and play this great, fantastic, graphic-filled game on my console and then take it with you. Imagine if you can do that. Imagine if the PlayStation 4 came with the controller that looked exactly like a Vita, and it didn't stream the game to the Vita when you left, but it was actually on the Vita. It was a card you put into it. And so it wasn't like how Vita is where you're streaming your PlayStation 4 game, but it was your actual PlayStation 4 game on your Vita. Destiny or something, and you had the exact control buttons that you would need on, the DualShock 4 or whatever. How awesome would that be?
Well, I mean, the Wii U was kind of the precursor to that.
The Wii U was the precursor to that, but the Wii U did not work where you could get in your car and take it
right, because I don't think that particular bit of technology had been worked out yet.
Right, exactly. I think and of course this is going to strive because they're not using the Wii U name,
Right, it's not a Wii anything. Nobody's going to be confused.
Exactly. And, I hope it doesn't feel like a toy because I did hold the Wii U controller in my hand and it felt like Fisher Price. I don't expect it to feel like a PlayStation's, like a Vita or anything like that. I expect it to play a little bit, because it is geared towards kids. But I hope it has some oomph in it, if that makes sense. Like, I hope it feels a little bit more better I hope it feels like the 3DS, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And if it's like the 3DS and you can play at your house on a big screen, and then you can turn it off and play in your couch or on the go, and then come back and you just take the card out of your take the card or actually I guess you would just leave it in the device you're holding,
Yeah.
and what it would connect through Bluetooth to the. I don't know. We don't know how that works.
Or
but
it would just plug back into a cradle. Basically, I would think that's the way I think it's supposed to work.
You would take the card out of the handheld and then put it into whatever the
just stick the handheld back like you're putting a phone on a charger.
It's going to be the controller. I think that your handheld device, let's just say it looks like a Vita, is going to be the controller for your television. That's what I think is going to happen, is that you're going to actually have, just like a Wii U, you're going to have a console sitting next to the television. You're going to be able to play the games at your house using that controller, and then you're going to be able to take the card out of the console, put it into your handheld device, and take off.
That's not what I'm thinking at all.
So what kind of controller would you use if you're going to take the controller that you would be using walking around with and sticking it on a thing?
Something similar to a Wii U. Like, just in terms of, because you've got to have a screen on it. Like,
right. So what you're saying is take the Wii U, and the controller of a Wii U is an actual screen with the buttons.
Right.
Right. But what you're saying is if you would take that and then stick it in something,
you would
what would you use as a controller?
They've talked about there's detachable controllers.
Well, no. Well, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, you would need the same buttons if it's the same game on the go than it was if you're sitting in front of your television.
See where we start to have some problems.
No, you wouldn't. Okay, imagine, hold the 3DS in your hand, right? You're holding the 3DS in your hand, okay? There is a console sitting next to the television. You can use your 3DS as a controller for the game you're playing on the big screen. The game is in the console. You take it out, you put it into your 3DS, and then you go about your merry way. It is the same controller, it is the same controls, except the game is not on the television, it's on your handheld device.
Right. I see that, and that makes sense, but this is Nintendo. So
Right. What I was picturing you were saying was you take the actual controller and then stick it next to the TV, and then I thought, well, what do you have in your hands after that?
Well, because it's one piece. It's not like, oh, there's a console and no, the console is the controller. It's like a handheld that way, that you can then plug into the TV, and then you have, because they've talked about the idea of detachable controllers.
So you take the sides off of it, and then what?
Exactly. And there's your controllers.
So you have a controller in the right hand, control in the left hand?
Probably. Or
That's
something
fucking dumb.
Or
they connect together in a small little controller. This is where it gets weird.
That's why I'm saying this is Nintendo. Or that part disconnects. Think of like a cell phone case.
Mm-hmm.
It peels off from the core unit that you plug into the TV. And you still have the same controller. It's the same size. You get what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying. I'm going to send you a link as well that I found it, and it's supposedly linked photo, but I highly doubt that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. But it just doesn't make any sense. It's like you take it away, and then you sit that in the stand next to your television, and you use the controller on the right, the controller on the left. Where do they connect together?
Well, they peel off like Wiimotes.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to hold two Wiimotes in my hand to control a game that you should control like a normal controller, where your right hand's on one side, left hand's on the other. You're pushing in a little bit, you're giving a little bit of force in that feel that the controller has. Not holding two sticks in your hand trying to play a game like you would if you were holding an actual controller. You know? That's just weird.
Yeah, well, it's Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I would not put it past them. Yeah, I'm sure the leak it's clearly fake. But they need to get control over this thing now.
Right, because all there is speculation. It's just everything's running rampant, and the value of this thing is bouncing up and down. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? What's it going to look like? How's this going to work? Just something like this. how are the controls going to work? Well, it could be like this. No, it could be like this. Or, you could have something hanging from the ceiling that, there's no end to the speculation because we know absolutely nothing about this thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, just give me a 3DS that I can play at the house and I can play on the go and I will be fine. Even if it's just one screen, you know what I mean? Like, make it look like a Vita for all I care. That I can take on the go and I can play at the house. I'll be perfectly fine. As long as I know I just need that one Nintendo device, I'll be happier than shit, because then I know I have the one device. It won't be split up between different things. You'll get your Mario games, your Pokemon games, your Zelda, your Kirby, everything. Your just all your different Nintendo games. It's not going to be split into two different places.
Yeah, but then here comes a big question: does the NX kill the 3DS?
Absolutely.
They
won't admit that.
I think it has to.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, when they came out with the 2DS, they said they were going to have the same lines. They were going to have the Game Boy Advance, and they were going to have the 2DS. That died real fast. Everything went to the 2DS, and the Game Boy died.
Well, the original DS, the 2DS was different.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. It died. Yeah, not the 2DS. Yeah, obviously that's 2DS is 3DS, but yeah, it died. So that's what's going to happen with this, hands down. I mean, I'm sure there'll be 3DS games, but I can't. The next Pokemon game is going to be NX.
Yeah.
After Sun and Moon. Maybe you'll get it on. Maybe you'll get it on 3DS somehow, but
there may be some hangers on.
Yeah.
For the next year.
Yeah, exactly. And not even that. I'm sure it will go on for a while, but it will be shovelware type games.
Right. It'll be like the last the last PS2 title, I think, was Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah. Games that nobody's gonna play anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait for that to come out.
Maybe we're saying maybe this week.
Maybe this week. You'll know next week when we talk to you guys if it's actually been announced and all this other stuff. So
we're basically going to be on NX watch. It's going to be like, and every day that goes by without actual news, take a drink.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. Well, I think that's it for video games. Is there any quick news you wanted to give before we went into the break?
Well, we've got a little extra. Did you see that? I thought this was interesting. Neil Gaiman is doing a compendium of Norse myths. He's basically retelling all of Norse mythology in his own particular way, it seems.
Okay.
So that's something I want to buy.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way of seeing it for sure. And
is it going to be a book or a comic?
It's a book.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
It's a book. Yeah, it comes out February 7th.
Oh, okay.
But I thought that's interesting because a lot of those, he explored some of those concepts in American Gods, dealing with some of the older ones.
Right.
But and he does hire concepts like that really well.
Yeah. So no, I mean that sounds perfect for him.
Yeah, and he's it was a thing on Facebook he posted. He was like, so here's the thing, he's retelling, because the thing with Norse mythology is there's not, everybody learns about it from mythology books or something. Something that's like, oh, and let me tell you about Thor. There's not like a complete there's not like a complete works of Norse myth, basically. Right. And that's kind of what he's doing here. It's like, no, we're going to tell the story of Norse mythology. And I thought that was kind of interesting because we have stuff like that for Greek and even some of the Egyptian myth has been more codified. But he's doing this just as a way of like, all right, let's just tell the story of the whole thing from the beginning all the way to the end.
He's trying to get on that God of War hype.
Yeah, right, for real.
Yeah, definitely. Did you know that Neil Gaiman was a guest star on the show Arthur?
I'm not surprised.
The cartoon.
Yeah.
They had have you seen like I know this is just completely side tangent.
Was it the episode with the head in the yard?
No, I didn't see that. But we only have a few seconds, so I'll kind of go. There is a list of people who guest starred on Arthur, like Philip Seymour Hoffman, Neil Gaiman, Tom and Ray Mizzou NPR, Yo-Yo Mama, Joshua Redman, which is a jazz saxophonist, Matt Damon.
I'm not surprised.
Matt Damon is the creepiest looking one.
He is. I've seen it. Yes, he is. Oh my god.
Yes. Oh yeah. Joan Rivers and the Backstreet Boys. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get into some more weird news. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you guys in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we got some more news, and then we'll get into Rise of Iron, some WWE. So go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty cool. DC and IDW are working together to do a graphic novel, and it's called Love is Love, and it's an anthology graphic novel, and the proceeds are all going to Equality Florida. It's awesome. It's kind of a reflection on the Pulse shootings and everything. Right. And it's going to be it's 144 page graphic novel. I think they said they're doing like over 100 stories. I think so. They're going to be 1 or 2 pages, most of them. Hang on, let me find the name here. Mark Andreyko, who did a lot of writing for Batwoman, is kind of spearheading this project.
Oh, cool. And
we don't really know much of the creative team, but we do know a couple names, and I think it's awesome. Patton Oswalt's going to do a story, and Damon Lindelof's going to do a story.
Oh, that means it will be released in 3 years.
Yeah. But I was like, well, that's an interesting. That's something.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be out in December, and it's only going to be $10.
Oh, that's awesome.
And for a full solid graphic novel like that, you can't beat that.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking that up, and it's a good cause as well. So.
Big time.
Oh yeah. I saw that we have some Star Wars Marvel comic to explore Yoda's backstory and upcoming arc, starting with issue 26. That's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, we don't have much time left, so let's talk about. We can jump into Destiny and then WWE, or
sure.
Which one? Okay, yeah. So tell me about Rise of Iron.
Rise of Iron follows Saladin, the last of the Lords of Iron, who everybody knows from the Iron Banner. And it's basically like, what happened to the Iron Lords? Why is it just him? And big surprise, the thing that they fought is coming back, and so now you have to fight it because hey, you're the protagonist. That's your job.
Right.
It adds, the interesting thing is it does what the Taken King did, where it's like, hey, here's an upgrade in case you're short. Like how they were like, well, this way you can just jump right into the story stuff. I was like, okay, cool, that'll go on my third character that I'll never get around to playing. But it's interesting. There's a decent amount of content. I haven't gotten through. I've gotten through just the main quest line, I think.
Okay.
And I think I did like 1 strike. My problem with it is it's $30, and I cannot recommend it at $30.
Oh, really?
I don't think there's enough there to justify like, hey, here's half the price of a full game. I don't think there's that much content there. I had a $20 credit that I got months ago for something, so I actually only paid $10 for it. So I was like, all right, cool, yeah, I'll do that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bothered. I'm like, I'm not paying $30 for this.
I got it because the group of guys I play with all love it, and they They've all been apparently had a huge issue at launch.
Oh yeah, server issues, crazy.
Yeah, there was like hour longs of wait, and people
Yeah.
would get dropped, and they'd have to start it over again. And I'm glad I was nowhere near. I was like, guys, I'm going to bed. I
Yeah.
have a 12-hour shift tomorrow. I'll enjoy it this weekend with you guys. I don't like rushing through things anyway. Like they want to be raid ready by Friday, and I'm like,
Well, that's
okay.
when I think that because I think it drops Friday morning.
They do, and I said, hey, hats off to you guys, but there's no fucking way in hell I'm gonna be probably just tipping my toes in on Friday.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just way too busy. But I want to play it. I actually played like a week ago and I had a lot of fun playing with them again. I was like, all right, this is fun. It's just like a chat room, talking with people and shooting. That's pretty much what it became. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about before you get wrestling?
I haven't really jumped into like there's a new PvE thing. What's it called? Archon's Forge.
Oh, okay.
It's,
Are there wolves? I saw that there was wolves.
Well, because the Lords of Iron had wolves.
So there's like wolves you can hang out with and run around with? Or?
I haven't hung out with or run with any of them, so I don't know.
That's a shame.
Yeah, maybe it's just not yet, but I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, then let's get into wrestling. Let's get into some wrestling.
Man, the finals of the Cruiserweight Classic.
Oh,
first off, the semifinal matches were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They were just extraordinary, hands down. Mm-hmm. The tag match they had just to add a little extra time, mm-hmm. so that they were like, let's let these two guys cool down a little more.
Right.
Was tremendous.
Oh,
it was an absolute spot fest, but that was exactly what you wanted out of that.
Oh yeah.
And then you bring out, you know, here's Grandma Talik, here's TJ Perkins, and they're the winner of the first Cruiserweight Classic is gonna get this trophy, and the crowd just lost it because everybody kind of wondered, like, are they gonna debut a new Cruiserweight Championship?
Right.
And like nobody said anything. There was no hint at it. Nothing. It was pure rumor and conjecture, and then like when Hunter came down to the ring, he wasn't carrying anything. So I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna do his thing, and he did his thing, and it was like, oh, this is cool. And he reaches back and he holds up he grabs the little cloth thing they keep all the belts in, and that place just went nuts.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense because I was like, oh, they'll get a trophy. That's cool and all, but if they're gonna start a Cruiser Classic, I'm sorry, if they're gonna start a Cruiser division on Raw, it makes sense having a champion, and so I love the design of the belt too. I love that purple.
There has not been a championship belt in my watching, because I started after the Smoking Skull title, that I've actually said, you know what? I want one of those for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
I want that Cruiserweight title. Man, that thing looks awesome.
It does. It absolutely does. Yeah, me and my friends me and my buddy are thinking about getting the tag team ones because they're 150 each. And
now for the replica or for the
replica.
Really?
They're 150 each, 300. Basically, it's the price as if you got like the Smoking Skull belt,
right,
or the championship belt. You get both of them for 300.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
And then you're basically splitting it, and then you can walk around Disney with both wearing belts.
Right.
So I was like, that would be kind of fun. But yeah, I don't know. Realistically, I would never want to spend that amount of money. But yeah, that's, like you said, that's definitely, I'd love to have that. Maybe for WrestleMania or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah, man, it was great. It was absolutely great. I loved it.
And at the end of that match, Perkins looked like he got beat up.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had the skin on one side from all those chops. Like just
Oh yeah.
God, it was ugly, but it was great because like it told the story, and you got to see like that. If anybody hasn't seen the Cruiserweight Classic at all, if you're a WWE fan, go watch this, man.
That's what I felt like the wrestling told their stories in this. There was no hype to get to the ring. There was no talking. It was, you heard their little vignettes or whatever beforehand,
right?
And those were important because it gave a little bit of character. But they told their story in the ring. There was clearly a good guys and bad guys or whatever. I think they did a very good job doing that, who you should be cheering for and whatnot.
Right. There was really just like one bad guy, and that was Brian Kendrick.
Maybe that was the one that I saw where I was like, this guy's clearly a bad guy.
Yeah. Oh, he was, because he was overt about it. It was,
Right.
and it was great.
Yeah. But it was cool, and then it makes sense that now that division's aired. I thought it was the best match on Raw.
Yeah, those four put on just this incredible match, and I have to talk about Chris Jericho.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Because this is what I was talking about wrestlers stealing from themselves.
Mm-hmm.
In WCW, Chris Jericho came out to the ring, and he read a list of the 1,004 holds that he was the master of.
Oh yeah, I remember that Dean Malenko's list.
Yes, and Jericho was like, yeah, well, I know 1,004 holds. And he came out and through a commercial break even read this list. And he came out to the ring and he's got a list. And I'm like, wait a minute. We have cruiserweights on later. We have Chris Jericho reading a list. Is this Nitro?
The only thing that was missing is he needed the long paper.
Yeah.
He needed the long paper to be like, I'm getting prepared to write this list. And I love how they did it. They got Enzo and Cass out. They got the Puerto Rican guys out, because I still don't know their names. I just know they're the Puerto Ricans.
The Shining Star.
The Shining Stars. And then I like how New Day came out, and they were just like, you know why we're out here? Because we have nothing better to
do.
Yeah, that's great. Like we only have a few minutes left. What did you think about the ending with Seth is now full babyface, I think.
Yeah, but not really. Like he
came out to save Roman Reigns. Like
I don't think
if that doesn't cement him now. No, of course he's not like John Cena babyface. He still has his attitude. He's still, he's more like Stone Cold, I guess, but he's going to come out to save the good guy.
Yeah, I think it's a fine line that they're trying to walk with him, and I think
I liked it. I wasn't there during the whole Shield thing, and even when his music dropped, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
He ran out and jumped on top of the cage and jumped to the bottom and saved him. I was like, yes. And I saw like afterwards where they showed like them clear the ring of them, and I don't know. I thought it was cool.
But they've got Clash of Champions this Sunday, so.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love this. I love that we got the every 2 weeks a pay-per-view.
Works for me.
Works for me. But hey, yep, we are running out of time. So of course, go to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast. Go to our Twitter at We Geek Podcast, at The Logan Witt, at Adam Estep. Like, share, go to our Facebook stuff. Write a review for us on iTunes. And of course, check us out Wednesday on the N.FM.
Our shirts are back for sale again for the next 2 weeks.
Yes, I need to buy that. I'm going to be buying that.
They're on it's on our Facebook group. The link is up. It's only available until October 5th.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right. Well, hey, I think that's it. We're out of here. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we'll be talking about NX.
Let's hope.
Absolutely. All right. Until next time, Captain.